everybody, it's Molly with All Ears, and I'm here today at Hollywood Studios with a brand new video, and today we're gonna have the worst day ever. I know, it sounds impossible, right? And it probably is at Disney World, but I have collected social media reviews, I have collected reviews on AllEars.net, everything that you've told me not to do in Hollywood Studios. We're gonna do those things throughout the day today so that I can share what not to do so you know what to do to have the best day ever in Disney's Hollywood Studios. We're gonna have snacks, we're gonna go on rides. I think it's gonna be a fun day even if we're aiming for it to be the worst. I hope you're ready, I hope you're excited. Let's get to it. So planning the worst day ever in a Disney park doesn't seem like a lot of fun, but this is something that we looked at the AllEars.net reviews for. I picked some of the lowest ranked attractions and food and beverage locations to try out today. I also asked on our Facebook and our Instagram pages, what is some advice you would never give someone at Disney's Hollywood Studios? We got some really funny answers like, don't drink any coffee all day. Rude. To specific things like drink a bunch of green milk and then go on Star Tours. Also rude. But we got some really good worst advice, which is things that you have all experienced. Maybe you had a bad meal somewhere, maybe you made a mistake and you don't want others to repeat that. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to give you advice you should not take, a what not to do, if you will, and that can ensure that you're going to have the best day ever. And again, I think we're at Disney World. We're going to have fun along the way. I don't think there's such thing as a worst day in Disney World. There is such thing as a worst attitude. Let's start right off the bat with some of the worst advice you can get when going to Hollywood Studios, and that is to sleep in. If there is one park you should get up early for, it's Disney's Hollywood Studios, and that's for a few different reasons. The first reason you don't want to sleep in on your Disney's Hollywood Studios day? Can't get your Rise of the Resistance boarding group. The first boarding group drops at 7 a.m. and trust me, you're gonna want to ride this ride. Even if you're not a big Star Wars fan, you are gonna want to do Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, and as of right now, the only way to guarantee you get to ride the attraction is to have a boarding group, pending any technical difficulties, of course. But if you want to ride this attraction, you need to use every chance you can to get a boarding group. They drop at 7 a.m. from anywhere, 1 p.m. inside the park, but you have to have a Hollywood Studios Park Pass reservation no matter what. But if you think I can just show up at 1 o'clock and get one then, you might not, or if the attraction had long downtimes earlier in the day, they might not get to your boarding group if you don't get one until the 1 p.m. drop. So set those alarms. I know it's a pain, but get your Rise of the Resistance boarding group. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, if there's one theme park that you need to get up early and get to rope drop, it's Disney's Hollywood Studios, especially right now. There's not any Fast Pass Plus. Genie Plus hasn't rolled out yet, and there are some of the biggest and most popular attractions in all of Disney World all inside this park. You've got Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Slinky Dog Dash, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, all in this park, and all you can do is wait in line to get on those attractions right now. So what you want to do at Disney's Hollywood Studios is get here 45 minutes to an hour before the park's opening time. That way you're here right at the rope drop, which is Disney speak for right when the park opens. They used to physically have a rope that dropped, which is why it's called that. And you can get to an attraction as soon as possible. My recommendation is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I showed up at the park today about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes after the park opened. It's not a very busy day at all today. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is a very slow time that I'm here. But during the busy time, if you were to come an hour and a half, I'm talking an hour wait for many things. Right now, there's already a 50-minute wait over at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. There's an hour wait at Slinky Dog Dash, and you could have avoided that by coming in right when the park opened and knocking out at least one, if not two, of the heavy hitter attractions before the rest of the crowds get here. I know it's a pain and you don't want to get up early on a Disney vacation, but I promise this is a very good park to get early to. The advice of not sleeping in came from several people on social media. They said if you're going to get to one park early, it should be Hollywood Studios, but do not sleep in at Hollywood Studios. And you can already see how long this line is for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's only a 40-minute wait. Again, this is not a super busy day, but this ride is excruciatingly hot in this queue. It's hot, there's not a lot of cover, and if you wait to get here until the mid-morning, likely you're going to wait in a longer line, and you're going to wait in that long line outside during the hottest part of the day. So get here early, rope drop a couple of really good attractions, and then save the other ones for later in the day. I'm not even planning this, but this is a very long line for coffee. I acquired my iced coffee. It did take a long time, but that's fine. This is the pumpkin cream cold brew. which is back for the fall. This is the coffee just black, and I'm obsessed with it. It's just flavored cold brew. There's no extra syrup or milk or anything in it. I'm already failing at this task because this is like literally my favorite coffee ever. I look forward to this every year. So, best day ever as far as I'm concerned. But I wouldn't have had to wait in such a long line if I'd gotten here earlier, rope dropped some big attractions, and then gotten coffee and not tried to get coffee when everybody else was. Where are Coffee and I going, you might be asking? Well, we're headed to Toy Story Land for a few different reasons. A lot of people said the worst thing that can happen at a Disney park, worst day ever at Hollywood Studios, is waiting in a bunch of long lines. So a lot of people said just keep going to whatever the longest line in the park is. And I would never give anyone that advice. That is terrifically wonderful, bad advice. But a lot of people specifically called out Slinky Dog Dash. They said, a lot of people don't think it's worth waiting in a long line for, and a lot of people highlighted that this line, like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, is all outdoors, very little coverage, and very, very hot. And you can ride this one in the morning or in the evening with a lot less heat and likely a shorter line. So I am headed to Slinky Dog Dash, which does have the longest line in the park, a 60-minute line, and I'm gonna stand here until I get to ride. Trying to find the end of the line first things first. Slinky Dog Dash, if you've never been on it, is a family coaster. It's got a 38-inch height requirement. It really is a cute attraction. I really like this attraction, and I think a lot of you do too. A lot of you were just saying it's not worth standing outside for an hour in the direct sun. Especially when you don't have to. You could ride this at night, and it's awesome at night because all the lights and this whole land looks really, really cool at night. But today we have to. So TBH, I thought the 60-minute line would be a lot longer than it is, and I thought I'd have time before I got into the proper part of the queue to drink this coffee, because you're not allowed to drink or eat in the queue, like in the official part of the queue. So now I'm standing here just chugging my iced coffee. So that is a good tip, actually. Don't go buy a bunch of snacks or a bunch of drinks or a meal or a full beer or whatever it is and then think that you're going to eat it in line, because once you get through the extended part of the queue, which means any part of the queue outside of the like official part of the queue where the sign and the main entrance of the attraction is, you're not able to eat and drink in line. So, and that's actually always been a rule. That's not new. You've never been able to bring drinks like this. You could bring like soda with a cap on it or water bottle with a cap on it, but you've never been able to like walk into a line with this. So, pro tip, learn from my mistake. Okay, now let's go ride Slinky Dog Dash. Okay, now that I've consumed my whole coffee, which again, don't be caught trying to chug your whole coffee or your whole beer or eat a whole hot dog or something right outside the attraction. We are gonna head into the queue for Slinky Dog Dash. Again, today's not very busy, so we're gonna clock it and see if it really is an hour. But I like this attraction a lot, and I think it's great. But you may know, I really don't like waiting in lines, especially when you don't have to. If you can avoid waiting in lines by riding big things early in the day or later in the day, that's the perfect day in my opinion. So this is definitely one I suggest not waiting in a long line for. As an update, I've been in line for about 25 minutes or so, and we're definitely not moving and grooving, but it's not going terribly slow, so I don't think it'll be a full 55 minutes or an hour, which is great news. But it is rather warm in this very tight queue without any air conditioning at this time of day. It's been about 35 minutes, and I am the next person to get assigned a row, which is really great, but again, it is a very slow day. I can't plan to come on a busy day. It's just a slow time of year. The past few weeks, we've seen a huge drop in crowds of school going back. I just think this attraction is so cute with all the Toy Story details. Look at this, Andy drew this whole plan out. We're under a game board right here in Slinky Dog's box. There's Rex's box. I think this attraction and this whole land is so cute.
Hang on. Here we go.
Woo! Okay, you might know I always giggle on roller coasters. I just can't help it, but oh my gosh, the woman behind me, like the full-grown adult woman, was screaming her head off, and it was so funny. Oh my gosh, what a great ride. I love it. Also, update, just wanted to give a little moment talking about Disney's mask policy. Right now, masks, when I'm filming this, are required indoors, in indoor queues, on indoor attractions, inside any shop, restaurant, unless you're eating, anything like that. All required indoors. Resort, general spaces, required indoors. They are not required outdoors, and that now does include outdoor attractions and outdoor queues. However, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm still wearing one, especially in close quarters on rides. I'm a single rider. They're going to put someone I don't know next to me, so just as a courtesy, just to stay safe, I'm still wearing mine in close quarters and on rides. So that's a mask update for you. Okay, I love Slinky Dog Dash. I think it's a very cute attraction. I think for a lot of people it is a must-do, and it should be a must-do. However, I can totally understand the frustration, especially on a really, really hot summer day, waiting out in this extended queue for 60 or 90 minutes. You don't want to do that. That is a surefire way to be hot and cranky. So, my advice again, I think you should either rope drop right now, Smuggler's Run over in Galaxy's Edge, or Slinky Dog Dash, depending on which one of those you care more about. And then if that doesn't work out for you, come back later in the day, come at night. This whole land at night is so incredible. I actually prefer this land and that attraction at night, and you can get a much, much more cool experience, literally and figuratively, and it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. So I recommend coming at night, because don't forget, you can always get in line for an attraction up until the park closes. So even if Slinky Dog still has a 60-minute wait at park close, just get in line a few minutes before the park closes, and then you're waiting that 60 minutes when it's cool outside and when the park's already closed, as opposed to waiting for it in the middle of the day, wasting an hour in the extreme sun. So that was great advice. I lucked out today and didn't have to wait as long as it's posted. I can't control how busy the crowds are when I film these videos, but that is great advice. Do not wait for Slinky Dog or Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway in the middle of the day in the dead heat. The next piece of worst advice from social media, try to eat at Woody's Lunchbox at peak lunchtime at noon or 12:30. One, you're probably not going to get a slot on mobile order, and two, it's really, really hot and small, and it's hard to find a table, and you're definitely going to be in the sun. And that has proved true again today. It's 12:39 right now. I just tried to place a mobile order to eat lunch here at Woody's Lunchbox, and the closest time I could get was 1:55. So almost 2 o'clock, almost an hour and a half from this moment. And I'm an adult that gets hangry and cranky. Can you imagine if I was a child? It would not be good. So it's always good advice. I've said this in a lot of videos. When you get into the park, place your mobile orders the minute you know where you want to eat, even if it's really early, because places like Woody's Lunchbox, even on this very, very slow day, fill up, and you won't be able to get the arrival window that you want if you try and get it at peak lunchtime at that moment. Now you can try and change your arrival window. I was able to move it up from 1:55 to 1:45, but does that really help me that much? Not really. So when you come to this park in particular, and particularly with Woody's Lunchbox, which is very small, you're going to want to place those mobile orders as soon as you get in the park. You can always change the arrival window if there's one available later. So if you book it for noon, but at noon you're in the middle of doing something else, you can move it out if there's times available, which there likely will be, but it's very unlikely that you'll be able to move it up and eat sooner. So that means I have to go do something else, because I have an hour and a half before I can eat my lunch. As a little snack to hold myself over before Woody's Lunchbox, I am coming to get what was without a doubt the #1 least recommended snack on social media. Out of everything people said, I got the most messages, comments saying, do not drink blue milk. So what am I gonna do? Drink blue milk. My mobile order is ready here at the milk stand. And if you're unfamiliar, the milk stand is themed after the iconic blue and green milk in the Star Wars saga. The blue milk is first seen in A New Hope, the very first Star Wars movie, and then the green milk is seen in The Last Jedi. Both milks are plant-based, but they're different flavors, and you can also get them spiked. There can be rum in the blue milk or tequila in the green milk, and they are a rice-based milk. So the blue one is a little bit sweeter, and the green one is a little more citrus-based. All right, got my blue milk, got some Stormtrooper friends. Let's drink. Cheers.
You don't ask a question. All right.
Here's the thing. I think I've grown to like blue milk more over the years. I say over the years like it's been around forever. It's been around since 2019. Here's the thing. You want blue milk to be a milkshake. I think that's what most people expect, and that's why most people are disappointed. It looks like it should be a vanilla milkshake with blue food coloring in it, right? But it's not. It's coconut rice milk with different fruit flavors. So a lot of people, I think, are disappointed because it's also like somewhere between a smoothie and a slushy consistency-wise. It's a little gritty, but it throws people. But I don't mind blue milk, and I feel like here's the thing. If you are a diehard Star Wars fan and you saw Luke Skywalker drink blue milk in A New Hope 40-something years ago, yes, you have to get one just to try it, because the same reason that when I go to Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I have to drink butterbeer. Granted, butterbeer is actually delicious. But it's just an iconic thing in the movies, and it's a part of being at Galaxy's Edge. However, if you're not a diehard Star Wars fan, I don't know if this is a must-do treat. I understand this isn't like the best thing ever. And there are better drinks and there are better snacks. Hello, how are you?
Hold on. Find something interesting?
Yeah, just having some milk.
I find that interesting.
Thank you.
Be careful.
Okay,
Traveler.
I will.
We have orders to resume recon.
Now that I've enjoyed my blue milk, I am headed to another attraction. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, which does bring up a good point. Sometimes you can't control the things that can ruin your day, like the weather. You certainly can't control that. Not even Disney can. Sometimes people think that Disney has a giant ceiling they can put on, especially over the Magic Kingdom, like a bubble, and they can control the weather, but they can't do that. So I did a whole video on how to deal with hurricane season and what you need to know about coming to Disney during the rainy season. But you should know during the summer, it will probably rain at least one day, if not every single day, for just a little bit during the afternoon. That's what happens in Florida. And the rain can definitely affect your day, but you can plan for it. Make sure to always have your rain gear on you. Bring your rain jackets, bring your ponchos, bring your stroller covers, bring extra shoes or extra socks, wear waterproof shoes. Because with things you can't really control, like the weather, all you gotta do is just roll with it. I mean, you can't fix it. If you really want to avoid the rain, don't come during the summer, don't come during hurricane season, which is the fall, and you might be able to avoid some weather. But there are gonna be things that you can't control, and weather's one of them. So just don't let it control your attitude, you know what I mean? I understand weather can be a huge bummer if you've come all this way and then the weather cancels the fireworks at Epcot, or the parade at the Christmas event, or any number of things. You never get to ride your favorite ride because it's outdoors and it's been raining all the time. I understand weather can be a huge bummer, and it can lead to having a worse day, but unfortunately you can't control it, so all you can do is be prepared. All right, we have made it to our next attraction, Alien Swirling Saucers here in Toy Story Land. On social media, most of you said this is skippable, and on our AllEars.net review pages, this has the lowest score with a 6.26 of any attraction in Hollywood Studios. So obviously we're gonna ride it. It's hard for me to be mad at any attraction that features a gigantic Buzz Lightyear outside of it. But Alien Swirling Saucers is of course located here in Toy Story Land. It has a 32-inch height requirement, and if you have been on Tow Mater's Junkyard Jamboree over in California Adventure, this is the same ride system as that. Right now this attraction only has a 15-minute wait, which I do think is kind of the cap of how long you should wait for this one. I love that there's a Buzz Lightyear box up on top of this and the Green Army Men everywhere. And here's a giant gun like over at Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin at the Magic Kingdom. But this is another outdoor queue that can get very, very hot. So if you do want to ride this one and it has a longer line, I would absolutely recommend waiting till later in the day. It will probably drop to barely anything and you won't have to wait outside in the heat.
Please, listen. For your safety, remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, your hands, arms, feet, legs, claws, and antenna inside the rockets.
So I did end up waiting 15-20 minutes to get on Alien Swirling Saucers, which on a day where Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster have posted 25-minute waits, you decide if it's worth it for you. I think Alien Swirling Saucers, whenever I ride it, I laugh. I dare you to ride this and not smile. That said, it's definitely not a must-do. It is more of a filler attraction for sure. It's good for little ones that maybe aren't tall enough to ride Slinky Dog Dash, but they are able to ride this. Usually it doesn't have too long of a line, so while I would not say this is a terrible attraction by any means, it is one that it's not a must-do on most people's list. So don't prioritize it, in my opinion, but if you can ride it, especially when it's not super hot outside and there's not a long line, why not? Good timing because my lunch at Woody's Lunchbox is ready to roll. So I clicked, I'm here, prepare my order. A few minutes later, I got the notification that I was ready and to come get in line. Woody's Lunchbox, not only is it kind of a pain with the mobile order and the limited seating because it is so popular, it also has a very low rating on our AllEars.net review sites. It only has a 6.38 on AllEars reviews. So that is one of the lowest dining locations on our review pages. If you disagree, you're welcome to go leave reviews. But it does serve a variety of sandwiches, grilled cheese, brisket melt, turkey sandwich. It's got the iconic tachos, which are those chili and cheese tater tot nachos. It's got those seasonal lunchbox tarts and a couple of beverages, including root beer floats and grown-up lemonade. I got my food and I was able to find a table. It did take a little bit of time to find one, and as you can see, they're all outdoors. So even with limiting the capacity of mobile orders, it might take you to a minute to find a table. So I understand where people don't love that. Get it? I have foregone my traditional Woody's Lunchbox order of tachos or a grilled cheese for the brisket melt, which is basically a grilled cheese, but it's got barbecue brisket on there. And that is literally because this menu item specifically was called out by a lot of you in the AllEars.net reviews as being lackluster. So figured why not try that. I also got myself a free cup of water, just a friendly PSA to always get your free cups of water at quick service locations. A real good way to have a terrible day at Disney is to get dehydrated. So stay hydrated, friends. But I think this looks pretty good. It's comes with your choice of tomato soup, a Cutie's Mandarin, or the potato barrels, aka tater tots, but I went for the soup. And it's got a bunch of that brisket meat in there. Looks like some pickles, some melty cheese. I feel like this is going to be good. I will say, this is a very warm place to eat lunch in the middle of the day. I think that's delicious. It's like a zhuzhed up grilled cheese. I love the crunch from the pickle and the little like acidity from the pickle. The meat has got a nice sweet barbecue sauce on it, but it's cooked well. And then it's got lots of cheese, and then this bread tastes like garlic bread, which I have a firm stance on having garlic bread be the bread on sandwiches. I feel very good about it. I don't have any complaints about this sandwich. It is very heavy. I definitely think you could split it between two people. And I guess the biggest issue is also the same issue with the tachos, in that it's very, very hot out here, especially during the summer, especially in the middle of the afternoon, and there's no air conditioning, and you're eating like a hot meat cheese soup meal. So that's maybe not the most appetizing thing to eat outdoors in the summer. So maybe come here for dinner. Maybe Toy Story Land is best enjoyed in the evening, in the afternoon, when the lights are out, it's cooler, it's less crowded. Finished my lunch at Woody's Lunchbox. I actually really like Woody's Lunchbox. It's always one of my recommendations at Hollywood Studios because I like the tachos. I thought that sandwich was very good. Just don't eat it in the middle of the day. That's the best advice I can give you on Woody's. It's gonna be hot out there. Just eat it for dinner, eat it for breakfast, and I think you'll be happy. But I think the rating on AllEars.net is low. So if you think it's low, go leave your own ratings on AllEars.net. We've got places where you can leave ratings on any restaurant, any resort, any attraction at Disney or Universal. Go leave those, and that will help us make more content, and that will really help you guys because you can go look up the reviews for other things and see what other readers and people have to say about it. Walking all the way across the park now for our next attractions, and now seems like a good time to remind you that one of the worst things you can do in all of Disney World, maybe the worst thing you can do, is wear uncomfortable shoes. You are gonna walk way more than you ever think you will. I'm talking 5+ miles a day most of the time in the Florida sun, and the last thing you want to do is have new shoes or uncomfortable shoes. So I typically wear either sneakers or the knockoff Birkenstocks that are waterproof if it's gonna rain. And I'm not kidding when I say to practice walking before you come here. Work your way to be able to walk around your neighborhood for 5 miles, because a lot of people come here and they don't realize how much walking it is, and then you get blisters or you chafe or you're tired or you're sore or your feet hurt, and that is no fun. So practice walking, break in those shoes. Do not come to Disney World with new tennis shoes. That is a guaranteed way to have a worst day ever. Along the same lines of not having uncomfortable shoes, you gotta dress comfortably. It's very, very hot, so find what works for you and make sure you're comfortable. For me, I live a life free of denim shorts because denim shorts are not comfortable for me in a theme park. I wear a skirt or dress 99.9% of the time, and I wear slip shorts under it, which, ladies, they'll change your life. I am not kidding. I am not being sarcastic. They're thin shorts you can wear under dresses and skirts to prevent uncomfortableness, and I'm not kidding when I say they have literally changed my life. We will link them for you. In fact, we'll link some of my articles I've written where I link a bunch of stuff that I wear, shoes, slip shorts, etc. But just remember, it's gonna be really, really hot here, so find out what's gonna be comfortable for you. Don't forget those rain jackets, bring those comfortable shoes. I like to find a cute Disney t-shirt, tuck it into a denim skirt. That is my uniform, it works for me. My husband always wears t-shirts and then he gets hot and then has to buy a tank top, and then I have to figure out how to shove his t-shirt in my backpack. So just like wear a tank top if you think you're gonna get hot in a t-shirt. Wear dry wick clothing. Bring those neck cool towels. Bring personal fans. Do whatever you gotta do to combat the heat and combat being uncomfortable, because I'm not kidding you. There was a day that I wore jean shorts and I came home in tears, actual tears, because of how uncomfortable I was. Do not let that happen to you. Okay, this is certainly not part of a worst day ever, but I came back to Tower of Terror to get another coffee, as one does, at the Joffrey's here, and Max and Goofy are doing distance meet and greets up on the balcony of the Tower of Terror. I think they're trying to check into the hotel. Goofy, are you trying to check into the hotel? Are you staying there? Are you trying to check in? Is that working out? Kinda, yeah. I'd be a little nervous. Seems a little spooky in there. Yeah. They are so cute. You're brave. I know you can do it. Max, are you brave? Are you scared? You? No, you're not scared. You're good. Max is good. He's brave. He's strong. What a cute little meet and greet area for you guys. The next attraction that many of you on social media said is a skip Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. Now this is actually a newer attraction. It just opened up a few years ago, and it's basically a large scale movie with a very, very cool animatronic of Lightning McQueen. I will recommend watching Cars 3 before seeing this attraction, because when I first rode the attraction or saw the show, I didn't know what was going on. But then once I saw Cars 3, it made a lot more sense. So let's go check out Lightning McQueen.
Ka-chow! Whoa, Mater, that was some introduction.
Well, nothing's too good for my best buddy. I pulled out all the stops with lights, lasers, and smoke.
There was no smoke.
No smoke!
Thanks, Mater. Race this guy.
Yeah, you can beat him. Yeah!
Oh, yes, you should race Chip, even though he's so much better. Oh, God, you're Queenie.
Here's the thing about Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I don't think it's an inherently bad attraction. I don't really think there are inherently bad attractions. Except for Stitch's Great Escape, am I right? But for the most part, I don't think attractions are bad. There are some that are definitely better than others, and I feel like each attraction serves a purpose. And Lightning McQueen Racing Academy serves a great purpose if you've got little kids, especially ones that like cars, and you want to sit in the air conditioning for 15 minutes. I will say the animatronic is incredibly impressive, so if you're a Disney nerd or a tech nerd, you may want to go see it just for the animatronic. The show's funny, like I laughed out loud several times as an adult, so is it the most popular attraction? No. Is it a must-do? Not for most people. Should you prioritize it over things like Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, some of the shows here? No. But do you have little kids that can't ride Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror? Do you have little kids that love Lightning McQueen? Then this show's going to be great for you. So I wouldn't wait too long for it. Normally you only have to wait until the show before you is out, so at most 15 minutes. But yeah, don't prioritize it. It's not the best thing I've ever done, but it's serves its purpose, and if nothing else, it's inside and the animatronic is cool. The next attraction that many of you said to skip, not only on social media, but it has a very low rating on our All Ears review section, is the Mickey Shorts Theater, where they play the original animated short starring Mickey and Minnie called Vacation Fun. Now, this is simply a movie theater, and it's playing a short. You're not going to see the short anywhere else. It's a Mickey and Minnie short in that new style that they're doing on Disney Plus, and it's Mickey and Minnie and the gang, and they are going on vacation. So that is the theme of the short that you can see here, but it also has some cute photo ops at the exit that a lot of people don't realize. If you are a fan of the animated shorts, there are some sets here that you can take different photo ops with. There's Yodelberg, there's the panda, there's even this Egyptian temple one, but I think the most popular of the different photo ops here is the Potato Land photo op. Quincy says it's her favorite of the Mickey cartoons, but basically Goofy wants to go to Potato Land as a theme park, but then it turns out it's just Idaho. But you can pose with the potato right here if you want to. Okay, if we're being honest, Mickey Shorts Theater is probably, in my opinion, the #1 most skippable thing in this park. I would tell you to do Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy before I would tell you to do this. I would certainly tell you to do Muppet Vision 3D before I'd tell you to do this, and any of the live shows, Frozen Sing-Along, Beauty and the Beast, even Disney Junior for a certain audience, I would tell you to do before Mickey Shorts Theater. It's not that I don't enjoy it, but it is simply watching a Mickey Mouse cartoon. It doesn't even have to do with the fact that I don't care for this style of Mickey Mouse cartoon at this point. Like, what did they do to my boy Goofy? Like, why doesn't he have pants on? Who is he, Donald Duck? I can't even get into it because I like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway a lot, and that attraction also uses the new style of animation. So for me, this is fine if you really want some air conditioning, if you've got some little ones that just want to sit down and watch a cartoon for a little bit, if you've absolutely exhausted everything else, if it's about to rain and you want to duck in there. But for me, this is probably the most skippable thing in this park. I said it earlier in this video, but if there is one thing you need to do when you're coming to Hollywood Studios, it is try and get a Rise of the Resistance boarding group. This park, more than any others right now, do you need to plan for, and there hasn't even been the Fast Pass Plus replacement yet. That's rolling out later this fall, and that will become even more true when that rolls out. So we did a video breaking down Genie Plus, which is the new system, and we will continue to update you, and when it rolls out, we will give you all the details about Genie Plus. We'll do a ton of videos on it. But Rise of the Resistance is the most popular and best attraction in Walt Disney World, bar none, and the only way to get on it most days is by getting a boarding group at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. Very, very rarely, only in the slowest of slow days, I've seen it happen like twice ever, have they allowed people to just walk on it towards the end of the night. But that is very, very, very unlikely to happen. And until Genie Plus rolls out, where you can actually pay per person to get on Rise of the Resistance, no, we don't know how much yet, but we'll share when we do, you need to get a boarding group. Again, 7 a.m. from anywhere, 1 p.m. inside the park, and you have to have a Hollywood Studios Park Pass reservation to do that. So the worst thing you can do on your Hollywood Studios day is roll up, all excited about riding Rise of the Resistance, as you should be, but you didn't try to get a boarding group at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m., because unfortunately, you're not riding if that's true. Why is it so cool? Why is there a virtual boarding group line? It's an over 20-minute experience. Calling it a ride is honestly insulting. You're going to go through several different sets and several different moments within the Star Wars universe. You are going to get on different vehicles. You are going to get on a Star Destroyer. You are going to get in a trackless vehicle. You are going to be in a transporter pod. It is so incredible, over-the-top amazingness. It is a one-of-a-kind experience that even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you need to do it because you're going to be blown away by this attraction. So all of the pain, all of the hassle of doing the boarding group process, which we have posts on AllEars.net, I've talked about how to do it before, you are going to want to get a boarding group. So truly, the worst thing you can do is show up at Hollywood Studios and think, I'll just go get in line for a few hours at Rise of the Resistance, because no, you won't. All right, I've shared some of your advice on things not to do. But now we're going to talk about a few underrated things that lots of you told me not to skip, and I completely agree with you. One of them is right here. This is Walt Disney Presents, and this is an exhibit dedicated to the man, of course, who started all of this magic, Walt Disney. So it's a really great exhibit where you can walk through and see some artifacts throughout Disney history. You can learn a little bit more about Walt Disney himself and the company that founded it. And then there's always a movie at the end. Sometimes it's a short film called One Man's Dream, narrated by Julie Andrews about Walt Disney, and then sometimes it's actually previews of things coming up in the future, whether it be a Marvel film, a Pixar film, a new Disney movie. They may do a little preview here so you can get a sneak peek before you go see it in theaters. So let's go check out One Man's Dream, because I know this is supposed to be the worst day, but you guys told me not to skip it, and I really like it. So this maybe isn't something for little kids, but I think your older kids, your teenagers, especially parents, grandparents, they're gonna love this. And you can see things like them animating an early Mickey Mouse. You'll be able to learn about the history of animation and some of the technological advances the Disney company made there, as well as the founding of Disneyland and the Disney parks, Disney television, like the Mickey Mouse Club. And again, they've got cool things like different models of attractions or parks or features. Like here's a very cool model of the Magic Kingdom. And these are from the Disney Archives collection. Like these are things the actual Imagineers used. And if you're a Disney history nerd or just a history nerd in general, I think it's really, really interesting in here. And I'm glad that some of you said that as well. Like, look at this. I've pointed this one out before, but this is one of the Abraham Lincoln audio animatronic figures used at the 1964-65 World's Fair. This is from Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. I mean, is this not amazing to see this Lincoln animatronic? Like, look at all those mechanics that are inside of there that make, I mean, Abraham Lincoln walked so the Shaman of Song could run, you know? Amazing. This is how they'd program it back then. Amazing. They've got some upcoming things as well. So here is some previews of the Galactic Star Cruiser, which is going to be the Star Wars Hotel. It's like an interactive experience, kind of like a cruise. It's going to be a 2-day itinerary. So we've got more information on that on AllEars. It's supposed to come out next year, but so they've got information about upcoming things in here. And then one of my favorite things in here is they have different props from Disney movies and shows, and they'll rotate these out. Like right here is props and costume pieces from Cruella, the live action one that just came out. So this is something that Emma Stone actually wore, which is very fabulous. I gotta say, I'd love to hear comments about Cruella in the comments. I thought the acting and the costuming and the soundtrack were amazing. I didn't love the plot personally. My favorite things in this exhibit, though, are these costumes and props from Pirates of the Caribbean. So you've got Davy Jones's chest, you've got the jar of dirt, and then you have one of the costumes worn by Captain Jack Sparrow himself, which is amazing. And then you also have this model sculpted by Blaine Gibson, who was an Imagineer sculptor. Blaine Gibson is most famously known for sculpting the partner statue of Walt and Mickey in the Magic Kingdom, the sharing the magic statue of Roy and Minnie down at the end of Main Street in the Magic Kingdom. He also sculpted all of the pirates, all of the ghosts, all of the presidents when the attractions opened for Pirates of the Caribbean Haunted Mansion Hall of Presidents. He is an incredible Imagineer, and I think the fact that he sculpted this thing I'm looking at, amazing. We've done another coffee grab and another free water grab because we are headed down Sunset again for another thing. Many of you said don't skip, and I love these. I loved reading all of your don't skip this underrated attraction. So many of you said do not skip the live entertainment in Hollywood Studios, and I could not agree more. Live entertainment is one of my favorite things in any Disney park, and of course it's very strong here in Hollywood Studios. Now, not every live show has come back, but a few have started. You've got the Frozen Sing-Along, which I actually love and think is very underrated. Disney Junior Dance Party, not for everyone, but if you've got little ones that enjoy Disney Junior, a great show. And very recently, Beauty and the Beast live on stage just reopened. So we're gonna go see it right now. I cannot wait, and I totally agree. Do not skip live entertainment when you're here at Hollywood Studios. If you've never seen it, Beauty and the Beast live on stage is about a 30-minute stage production of course, Beauty and the Beast. It actually debuted in MGM Studios at the time, at the exact same time that Beauty and the Beast debuted in theaters back in the early 90s. This show just recently reopened. I'm so glad it's back. Features all your favorite music from the story, and it's just lovely.
At least I get to see you one last time.
No, we're together now. I won't let you die.
Oh, I am so glad that so many of you agree that skipping the live entertainment surely makes for a worse day, especially here at Hollywood Studios. So again, not all the live shows are back. Indiana Jones isn't back yet. Fantasmic isn't back yet. But if you can see at least one of the live shows, I think of the ones back, that Beauty and the Beast is the best one. But I also really do like the Frozen show. So, oh, and man, now, one thing I did get asked is if there's any differences to the show from the prior times. There are a little bit, but I don't think most people would notice them. There's just less dancers, and they can't touch each other. So like Belle at the Beast at the end, like just kind of wave and look longingly at each other. They can't like actually touch each other and dance. And in certain scenes where there used to be like 8 dancers, they may have 4 so that they can be distanced a little bit. But it's still the same show, it's still the same music, it's still wonderful. I still cry like I don't know what's gonna happen. So yes, see live entertainment. We've got one more thing to eat and one more attraction to do on this worst day ever at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, along with Woody's Lunchbox, the other quick service that a lot of you suggested not eating at, Pizza Rizzo. Because you think those round, puffy pizzas that Disney provides, not up to scratch. And you know what? I believe you. I agree with you. I have had those Pizza Rizzo pizzas in several videos, and every time I say there, man, is my nicest way to describe them. But what if I were to tell you that you can get the same mediocre round puffy pizza from Pizza Rizzo, but also lose the delightful Muppets theming and the air conditioning? What would you say to that? Welcome, my friends, to Sunset Market Ranch. This is an outdoor dining area here on Sunset Boulevard, just down the way from the Tower of Terror, and it's actually comprised of 4 individual quick service walk-up counters, but it's got one communal seating area. You've got Rosie's All-American Cafe, which is where you can get classics like burgers, and they have improved their food recently. They've got a little bit more unique items. They've got a pretty good salad. They've got a plant-based sandwich that I actually quite enjoy. You've got Catalina Eddie's, which is where you can get the iconic puffy pizzas. You've got Fairfax Fare, which used to be Tex-Mex, but when it reopened, It's reopening as gourmet hot dogs. So there's a variety of different hot dogs you can get. And then you've got Hollywood Scoops, which is the ice cream shop that does hand scooped ice cream down at the end. Generally speaking, Sunset Market Ranch, not a real winner when it comes to food. Very generic theme park food, but they have upped a couple of things like the gourmet hot dogs if you're into hot dogs, or some of those dishes at Rosie's, like I've said, have become more creative and a little bit more exciting and better offerings. But the one who's done not really anything to their menu to make it more interesting is Catalina Eddie's. This is where, again, you can get those same round puffy pizzas that you can get over at Pizza Rizzo or Pizzafari at Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's actually less variety here as well because they only have pepperoni and cheese. They don't have the veggie one or the meatball sub. You can get a chicken Caesar salad here. You can get breadsticks here, which I will consider a plus, as well as a couple different generic beverages. But we've ordered ourselves a delicious pizza, just waiting for it to be ready. Here is my feast from Catalina Eddie's. Again, same round pillowy pizza. I just went for the cheese, a classic, and then it comes with a side Caesar. And pro tip, if you want Parmesan or crushed red pepper to put on it, you need to ask up at the counter. They don't have it on the condiment bar, so just ask, they'll get it for you. Here's the thing. I want this to be good. I want this to be delicious because I remember loving eating this as a kid. Back when Pizza Rizzo was Pizza Planet, I loved it. I loved Pizzafari as a kid. It's just not. I gotta put like a bunch of red pepper flakes on it. I gotta say, the cheese one I'm liking more than the pepperoni because I'm getting more cheese, which is on brand for me, but it's that doughy like crust. The sauce is watery and doesn't have a ton of flavor. I put just a whole packet of red pepper flakes on this one piece just now. It's just meh, and that's the only way I can describe it, and I'm sorry if you love this. Good for you. I just don't, and most people don't, and there's a reason these restaurants are always continuously rated very low by you on reviews and on social media. Like, so many people told me to go to Pizza Rizzo. And especially because we are in an era now where theme park food is so much better than it used to be. This park had a glow up when it reopened. ABC Commissary used to be very mediocre. It's great now. They've got shrimp tacos over there. They've got a buffalo chicken grilled cheese sandwich over there. That buffalo chicken grilled cheese is one of the best quick service meals I've had in a long time. Even right here in Sunset Market Ranch, like I said, Rosie's All-American Cafe has some great, more unique options. Dockside Diner just opened up with some cool looking sandwiches. So Ronto Wrap. There's so many better things to order that this is just not great. So I will agree with you. I will contest that unless I'm filming a video for a very specific reason, I am never going to choose to eat these puffy pizzas. Not when there's better food out there. The Caesar salad's fine. I mean, I think I like the dressing better here than at Pizza Rizzo. It feels like it's different dressing. That may just be in my mind. But it's just a generic Caesar salad. I would almost rather get the Caesar salad than get the pizza. Like, get the chicken Caesar salad. As we're walking to our final attraction today, I want to point out on the wait time board that there are a lot of low wait times right now. It's a little after 5 o'clock. So like I said earlier, if you can wait till later, you're going to see a drop. Smuggler's Run's only 30 minutes. Slinky Dog's only 45. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is 35, so in the afternoon, evening time is a great time to ride some of those big attractions. My best advice, again, is to rope drop, get here bright and early, and head over to Smuggler's Run if that's a must-do for you. If it's not, Slinky Dog Dash or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Try to get 2 of those done early in the day. You can also rope drop Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster if that's more your speed. But I have found that the longest waits throughout the park day are usually Smuggler's Run and Slinky Dog. Of course, when Genie Plus rolls out, everything will change, and we will do a ton of different videos once Genie Plus rolls out on what that means for the standby queues, how to use Genie Plus, all that good stuff. You might be wondering what to do then in the middle of the day when the attractions do tend to have longer waits and it's really bright. That's when you can do some of these shows. Frozen Sing Along, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, see some of the theater shows like Muppet Vision 3D, do kind of like your filler attractions like Toy Story Mania and Star Tours, all good things to do in the middle of the day. when all the other wait times are very long or outside. Last but not least, way to have a worst day ever at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Get motion sickness. I am standing outside Star Tours, The Adventures Continue TM, which for me is an attraction that makes me very, very motion sick. This one is one of my top 3 probably motion sick attractions ever. Definitely tops at Disney. I think the only thing that makes me more sick than this at Disney is Mission Space Orange. So, lots of you said Star Tours makes you motion sick as well. No one's saying it's a bad attraction, but it just makes a lot of people very motion sick because it's a simulator that, as Alan from RTT says, puts you in a shoebox and shakes you around during a 3D simulator. So I just ate delicious pizza, if you want to call it that, from Catalina Eddie's. So now we're gonna go ride Star Tours. Yay. If you've never been on Star Tours, The Adventures Continue TM, it is, like I said, a 3D simulator, and what's very cool about this attraction, credit where credit is due, there are over 50 different scenarios you could encounter. So you never know which characters you're gonna see, you never know what's gonna happen because there are different beginnings, middles, and ends and different combinations of them. So you might see Darth Vader, you might see Kylo Ren, you might see Chewbacca, you might see Poe Dameron, you might see everybody's favorite Jar Jar Binks. You never know what's gonna happen. So for Star Wars fans, this is great, and it definitely has a lot of re-rideability. Has a 40-inch high requirement, 40, and again, it's in 3D and a simulator.
I am Lando Calrissian with the Resistance.
General Calrissian, in the event we don't make it, I want you to know that you have been the most wonderful passengers. Yes, Ratu, I believe this adventure is just beginning.
I did get a very cool version. I got the most recent version, which actually takes you to Batuu, the planet where Galaxy's Edge is. So that's always cool because I like seeing like Batuu as part of the story. But I'm not saying Star Tours is a bad attraction or a skip attraction. For some people, it's definitely a skip. Like I probably wouldn't ride this on a regular park day if I was just coming to the park for fun because it does give me motion sickness. But the best advice for attractions that might make you motion sick or do what I do, which is wait until the very end of the day. That way, if you do get motion sick or you don't feel good, at least you're going home at that point. Don't start off the day with an attraction that might get you motion sick and then have to feel kind of woozy all day. So for me, that's Star Tours. For me, that is Mission Space. For me, that is certain attractions over at Universal, like Jimmy Fallon. If I'm gonna ride those, I'm gonna do them towards the end of the day so that if I don't feel good, it doesn't ruin my whole day. Because that's another good way to have a worst day ever, is to feel nauseous all day. And keep in mind too, some attractions make me motion sick that might not make you motion sick, and vice versa. I don't really get motion sick on any kind of physically moving ride. I tend to only get motion sick on certain simulators. Typically, 3D is a factor in that. So definitely don't push yourself to do anything you don't feel comfortable doing, which is a surefire way to just not feel great. Gertie. Well, friends, that is a wrap on the, quote, worst day ever in Disney's Hollywood Studios. And you know what? It was still a fabulous day. I still got to ride Slinky Dog Dash. I still got to see Beauty and the Beast live on stage. We still had a lot of fun. I ate at Woody's Lunchbox, had some blue milk, did a couple other attractions and shows. And you know what? I truly think there's no such thing as a worst day in Disney World, just a bad attitude. So, my advice to you, I know there are some things that you cannot plan that will factor into how good your day is, the weather, other guests, how crowded it is. You can't plan for any of that, but there are things that you can plan for to avoid, and that's what I hope to do with this video. I hope you learned some tips and tricks to make sure you have the best day you possibly can at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Definitely share your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure to go to AllEars.net and leave your reviews on what you think are the best and worst things in the Disney parks so others can read those and we can use them for future videos. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media at AllEars.net, and until next time, friends, I'm Molly, and it's been magical.
Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.